So Dad, why do you want to stand for President of NAID?
Well, I'm a great believer in giving back to my industry, and this industry has been so good to me as, and to you guys as well, as a family business. And I went along to NAID right back in the day in 2000 when there was 100 people in a room in Lake Lanier. And since then, I've been to 12 different NAID conferences in the US, and I've also visited all of the European conferences. So I feel now I would like to give something back to the industry.
So Dad, you've known Bob Johnson for many years. You've met the last 12 NAID presidents. You've been to the NAID USA conferences for years and the European conferences. So what exactly did you get from it all?
Well, Bob and I go back a long way, as you've just said, and I met Bob first time in Heathrow Airport, where he came over and was trying to sell the philosophy of the American shredding industry to try and help 101 companies, which we were in those days, to get into the industry. I'd got ideas what I wanted to do with my business, and people would say, "Oh, you want to go and talk to Jim over there or Jack over there because he's already done that." And I gained a lot of experience from that, and instantly wanted to get on board with NAID.
How do you think the American members feel about a European president representing a global association?
I run my company in a very similar way to the Americans. We're AAA certified. We, one of the first companies in Europe to get that qualification. We've always believed in standards for the industry and policing of the industry. And, a lot of Bob's guidance and leadership has led to that. But now we have lots of members around the world who have got those same standards, and within the UK there's something like 40 to 50 members. Across Europe and Australasia we make a contribution to something like a third of the income into NAID now, and the issues that I've got are the same as that a guy in Japan's got, or a guy in Sydney, Australia's got, or in Switzerland, or downtown Kentucky. That all these places have the same issues. The issues that were probably issues in the US 8 years ago are now global issues, and they need addressing.
Do you feel it makes sense to carry on our associations with PRISM and NAID?
Well, clearly with NAID, or I wouldn't be standing for the job as Vice President, but with where we come from with PRISM is that, again, we've always contributed to that trade group. Both trade groups have worked very closely, and I obviously know a lot of PRISM members around the world, as well as I know NAID members. The only thing is with PRISM that a lot of those guys now are buying shredding trucks, and I see that as potential, I was going to say meat, but potential business for NAID, where people will want to join both associations like we've done.
If you're elected as President of NAID, do you think that the position will be a detriment on Shredall and SDS?
I don't think it will. Our management team is very strong here at Shredall now. We have good people in place like yourselves. We also have a good general manager and accounts backup team. I've discussed it with you all. They think I should give something back to the industry as well. And from the point of view of Shredall, I think this will probably work to the benefit of Shredall, really, because it raises our profile within the industry across Europe, and we have good friendships with people in the US as well.
In your opinion, what should be the most important goals for NAID over the next 12 months?
Well, the marketplace is changing so fast now, and the marketing. I was talking to Bob Johnson recently, who said to me, we're all marketing companies that do shredding, and the way forward for our industry now is to capitalise on those marketing messages. I think at Shredall we've been particularly good at that. The standards and education of our staff. Our clients want more and more compliance, so if we can educate our staff, show training video and to our customers where it shows that our staff are trained correctly. The marketing messages, I've worked on the PR committee for NAID for the last 3 years, and we're constantly looking at new ideas. With the advent of Twitter and Facebook and all these social mediums that weren't even around 2 or 3 years ago, the marketplace is moving very fast, and I think we have to address our marketplace as marketeers.
What experiences and background qualifies you to be the NAID president?
Well, like probably not many of the membership. I've come from being a 101 company. You know, when I first went to NAID, we had a business employing 3 or 4 people. I used to work in a back bedroom and set a truck up. I was the marketing man, I was the accountant, I was the thinker, I was the labourer, I was the guy who drove the truck. I learnt to drive a truck and got a licence for a truck.
A man of many talents.
A man of many talents. But along the way, Lucy, you know, is what I've done is gone through all the pitfalls that everybody as a member of NAID has gone through. We now run a very successful business. We've gone on and now we have a fleet of mobile trucks that are operating from London up to Glasgow in Scotland. We have a depot in Scotland employing 7 people now. We have a depot in Nottingham that employs 38 people, and then we have a London sales office where we're selling into the London market and servicing that on a daily basis. You know, I've gone through every single growing pain that everybody out there has actually witnessed and felt, and I think, you know, there's nobody better qualified. I've worked on standards committees. You know, when I joined the industry, if you tore a piece of paper into 4, you were shredding paper. Now, I worked on the team that created the British standard that then moved on to become a European standard, and it's still the standard that's used across Europe now.
How can being the NAID president help in the running of Shredall? Okay,
I'm actually standing for president-elect, but you know, you've got to be president-elect before you become the president, and you know, I think it's seen as a 3-year term. But to answer your question, the east coast of America starts at 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. The west coast of America is kicking up at 4 o'clock, so the NAID head office is normally kicking into gear at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What I've got to do is find the time later on in my day to actually make a contribution to NAID, and I don't think it interferes with my working career here. I've served on lots of committees that meet at 11 o'clock for conference calls around the world, and those 11 o'clock calls are 4 o'clock here. When Van joined the NAID board in Australia, we altered the board meetings to 8 o'clock at night here. So it fitted with him in Australia early doors, it fitted with the East Coast, it also fitted with the West Coast and Bob getting up. You know, Bob Johnson's been doing this for years. He works tirelessly for the organisation, and he makes it fit with whoever he's talking to around the globe. And I just see it the same. You know, if I've got to talk to somebody at 6 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock at night, I'll make that effort and do it. The reason for doing this film is to give my NAID colleagues around the world a bit of an insight for the people who don't know me well. I've tried to give an introduction to my business, show people that I'm just an ordinary guy who's doing an ordinary NAID job around the world. If I was to win a vote from anybody who's seen this film, I thank them and I won't let them down with my efforts as a Vice President.